Alright, you bunch of COPPA twats, cut the shit and listen up. This video is not made for kids, but for a general audience, meaning teens, adults, and seniors can also enjoy this video. With that in mind, please enjoy. And mostly bite me. The island of Sodor is the home of the Northwestern Railway. With engines of all shapes and sizes, working hard to deliver goods and passengers to their destinations. There are branch lines that run along the coast of the island, serving the docks, the fishing villages, and the seaside towns. There are branch lines that run to the farms, quarries, and ancient castles of the island's heartlands. And there is the main line, which runs all the way from Tidmouth on the west coast of the island and over the Vickerstown Bridge in the east, where it continues to the mainland into Barrow-in-Furness and beyond.
Oh wow, we're getting right into it. Okay, it was a cold weather, and Jeremy's jet engines have broken down from the cold, and he's about to crash land!
James was pulling into Great Waterton when he saw Jeremy in the sky heading straight towards the ground.
Fizzling fireboxes.
What is it?
Jeremy's in trouble.
Oh no! Eject, Jeremy! Eject!
Sydney, Jeremy's not on the plane. He is the plane.
We're overtaking the runway. Everyone brace yourselves.
Hey, bro, watch your jet. Watch your jet, bro. Watch your jet!
James rushed over to the crash site.
Are you alright, Jeremy?
Not really. And I don't think my passengers are too.
James hurried to the nearest signal box, called for help, and the next excursion train suddenly became an ambulance train. And now, months have passed since the accident, and Jeremy was cosmetically restored and is now a static display at the Sodor airport. James went to do a welfare check on him.
Yo, Jeremy, are you feeling okay?
Well, not really. I appreciate the cosmetic restoration, but that crash was certainly not how I wanted to retire.
A vehicle taken down by weather. Well, that reminded James of a certain someone.
Well, at least it was a cold front that took you out, not like an electrical storm that took out SUPER E.D.
SUPER E.D? Who was he?
Oh, now that's a story. So bizarre that no one will believe it happened. It was 1998. I was shunting trucks in the coaling plant.
Gamble coaches all the time. Looks like the big red pimple is about to be fit to pop.
Come on, trucks, less taunting and more shunting.
Careful, you're asking for trouble.
And he got it. James was so rough with the shunting that he got a couple tangled couplings. By the time the next truck was hoisted up the tipper, James was getting dragged along.
Oh me, oh my, help!
Shut it off! Shut it off!
The tipper was shut off, but the trucks dropped to the ground. Coal was scattered everywhere, and dust hung in the air. James knew that Sir Stephen Topham Hatt would not be fond of the mess he made. And indeed, he wasn't.
You should learn to be more careful with shunting, James. While you're getting repaired, another engine will have to cover for you. A diesel is all that's available.
The engines were skeptical, but Sir Stephen Topham Hatt reassured them.
After his work is done, I'll have him sent back to the mainland.
Later on, the diesel arrived. It was a Class 74 named E.D., but sometimes nicknamed Ed. But he was anything but reliable. He had a noisy startup in his system. His electrical components were crossed, and his motor wasn't as powerful as it looked. Cleanup was a slow process.
Wow!
A red pimple.
Now a blue hippo. Where's those railway coming to?
That late afternoon, Ed was sitting in a siding getting refueled when a careless lorry driver had backed up right into a telephone pole. The telephone pole teeter-tottered and then fell to the ground with a splintering crash. One of the telephone wires had landed directly on top of Ed's contact shoes. It crackled and flickered. Ed hummed and vibrated as electricity coursed within his system. Smoke poured from his vents, and by the time it cleared, Ed felt different.
I feel marvelous.
He thundered.
Driver, please take me for a spin.
And his driver dutifully obliged. When he hopped into his cab and he turned the key, he could not believe what was happening. For some reason, the electrical shock had converted Ed into Super Ed. Now, instead of taking a couple trucks, he can move multiple in one go. When the yards were cleared, he even had spare time to dash to Knapford Yards and fetch the breakdown train to clear up the mess caused by the careless lorry driver. Sir Stephen Topham Hatt was most impressed with his work.
I shall have to try you on the main line.
Thank you, sir.
Come the following day, Super Ed made his way to Knapford stations with the express. The crowd wanted to witness Super Ed's power. By the guard's whistle, Super Ed was gone in a flash. He thundered down the main line, flew over bridges, shot through tunnels, and darted by stations. He was going so fast that Gordon's record was under threat. Newspapers started to get printed out with Super Ed's success, with the headlines reading, "Get Ahead with Super Ed." By the time James was repaired, he was expecting a nice rest at Tidmouth Sheds, only to be barricaded by the other engines, who were very cross with him.
It's your fault that he's here, so you can spend the night with him and suffer through his gloating for all I care.
Poor James sulked beside the sheds and settled into the Tidmouth engine works, next to none other than Super Ed.
Ah, so you must be the engine I took over from for your little accident. James, was it? Normally I'm not too fond of outdated cigars on wheels, but thanks to you and the burnt toast effect, I got the chance to expose my true potential. I must thank you for that.
You must be very proud.
It's fulfilling. Haven't felt this way in a really long time. My class history was one of the manufactured suffering. I, along with 10 of my siblings, were graded members of the obsolete Class 71s, lab rats of an attempt to be high-powered locomotives, running on either fuel or electricity. Quite resourceful, especially during the oil crisis of 73. Sadly, we weren't keeping our promises to the revolutionized rails travel. None of us did. I guess that was the curse to all diesels. Metropolitans lost in the smoke. High mechs not the best in their heyday. Warships straining to reach new heights. By 1981, all of my evolved siblings were gone. I was living on scraps and pods, hauling slow goods on the southern region until I got loaned to your railway. 'Twas a miracle, that little accident. I can now carry my siblings' legacy and potentially revive the idea of new Class 75 diesel. I control my life now, every ounce and watt.
With a story like that, James almost felt sorry for Super Ed. But he still wasn't fond of how he was acting and wanted to figure out how he could get the boot. But that would all be arranged for him tomorrow. The next day, Gordon was sitting outside Knapford Station awaiting for his train. A thunderstorm loomed over the town and station. Super Ed parked next to him.
I suppose you're waiting for the storm to pass? Well, nothing stops me. I'm an electro diesel and I like storms. By the motivation and power. That's why they call me Super, no matter the weather.
He said, and he purred happily. Gordon just rolled his eyes.
In due time, I can see the posters being printed, advertising me.
Yes, I can see the old MATTEL podios right now on the posters. Sing, boom, ka-chow. There, I said it.
Just then, a bolt of lightning struck Gordon's front bumper beam and ricocheted right onto Super Ed, seizing him up. His driver tried everything to make him move, but to no avail. Poor Super Ed was getting fried inside out.
My equilibrium. Stabilize.
Thick smoke emerged from his vents. It was so dense and black that no one could see a thing on the platform as it got engulfed. Sir Stephen Topham Hatt emerged to see the commotion.
What heaven's name is going on? Get rid of that smoke!
James, who was nearby, was swift to action and hauled Super Ed away from the station. It was then the end for Super Ed. He never worked again.
I wish there was something I can do for you, but unfortunately, you're a loaned engine. I'll have your dispatcher decide what to do with you. Gordon, James, send him off. I'll see to my reports that he'll be sent back to the mainland.
No, wait, I can still function. No!
They were both quiet and had not mentioned a word about super engines and lightning. They were still quiet in the sheds until James's crew broke the silence.
Well, it took a bullet from a blue to make Ed super, but the bullet for the big blue engine did for it.
Well, I guess that lightning strike was payback for both Ed and I. I'm sorry for shunning you out of the sheds, James.
It's fine, Gordon. I'm sorry too, for not being careful with my shunting. I promise to try and do better.
That's good. Besides, those trucks may make you see red, but it's better than seeing that Super Ed.
Well, I guess it goes to show that no matter how bad things are, there's bound to be someone else having it worse off.
You could say that, Jeremy. Well, I'm glad to see you're doing better now. Hope to see you again sometime. Cheerio!
Thanks, James.
James was glad to have helped Jeremy, and he was also glad that he wouldn't have to deal with any more cocky electric engines on the island. But unfortunately, it'll happen again. But I mustn't say any more, for that is another story.